Hi, I'm Dave Robinson. I'm the Applications EDM Technical Leader here at Makino. Today we're in the Makino EC Center in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So today I'm going to be talking about rib technology on our sinker. So first thing we want to talk about with our rib technology, important part, the sinker EDM structure and our HS rib feature. So on the Makino machine construction, or the structure, we use an integrated thermal cooling of the Y and Z axis structures that use dielectric fluid that gets pumped through the motor block and the casting structure to keep thermal growth out of the casting. So important on any burn is that thermal growth that we take out of it. Second, we core cool the ball screw and with a Z-axis stabilizer. So it's basically a heat exchanger. We pump Makino spindle fluid through it. This cools only the Z-axis. So again, we prevent that thermal growth. The reason we do that, we get the ultimate in depth control. So we can hold depth control inside of a micron with that heat exchanger and that core cool ball screw. So very important, especially in rib burning, because we are going to high speed jump the machine, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So with that HS rib, high-speed rib is what it's basically called. So the Z-axis provides jump speeds up to 20 meters per minute. And the key point there also is the acceleration rate. So it has a 1.5 G acceleration rate. And that's really more important than the 20 meter per minute jump. So think of it as the 0 to 60 time in your car. The faster I can get up to that maximum speed, the more efficient it is. So that's really the key, the 1.5 G acceleration. So with that, again, the core cool ball screw. So we use a heat exchanger, core cool ball screw to control any thermal growth because of that high speed 20 meter per minute jump. So what does this do for us? So that higher acceleration rate, the speed, provides faster roughing up to 2 inches of surface area electrode details. We're going to use that 20 meter jump. Reason we do this, we pull the debris out of the cut as it burns. So we want to get that debris out. That allows us to get back down into the cut quicker and keep that spark gap correct. So during the cycle jump, this is what's going on. So very, very important for cycle time on the HS rib. So with that, you're going to get faster machining and also thermal stability as well. So it's a very robust Z-axis. I can carry up to 110 pounds, but still jump at that 20 meter per minute with 1.5 G acceleration rate. So one of the features or highlights of this is we can generally take about 30% out of our cycle time from a standard machine that jumps about 5 meters a minute. And one other feature also that's a benefit is the electrode wear. So we can reduce the electrode wear, same thing, anywhere from 30 to 50% with that HS rib function. So also, again, thermal control. So we stabilize any heat, so it's dissipated by that heat exchanger that goes through the ball screw as well on the core cool ball screw. So we preserve all our high-speed accuracy that way, especially for continuous long-term machining. So also a small slide here just shows you some of the comparisons. So conventionally, a burn originally would take 6 hours and 9 minutes. Now with conventional machining, with the HS rib, we drop that about 35% down to about 4 hours. Then with the addition of Hypercut, our ES100, we take that down to 2 hours and 11 minutes. And then with the addition of the digital generator, we've taken a 6 hour and 9 minute burn with all the new technology down to 37 minutes. So significant reduction in cycle time. Next feature I want to talk about in the rib side of it, rib technology, is what we call AiSF, or Adapti spark function. So this is an adaptive control that we've just come out with. So what it does is it adjusts the jump cycle of the machine instead of adding off time. So we're going to get into our previous version of adaptive control in the next slide, but that's really the basis for it. We want to jump the machine to get the debris out of the way, and this is where that AiSF or Adapti spark function comes into play. So what does it do for you as far as benefit? Reduces your machining cycle time. Previously, the P-pulse would add cycle time because it would add off time. Off time adds cycle time, also wears the electrode more because of the extended off time. So we don't do that as our first line of defense now. We jump that electrode more rapidly, try to get the debris out of the way, get into the cut, and not add that off time as our first line of defense. So another benefit of the AiSF is more uniform electrode wear. So it adjusts the discharge current first. Second thing it does is make a more uniform electrode wear. So you can see here in the photo, without the adaptive control on sharp corners, you're going to get a small buildup generally if the discharge isn't correct. So, and that's really no good as far as electrode shape. It's going to damage the part. So with the adaptive control, it wears that corner nice and radiused. We don't get any buildup on there. It gives us a more correct geometry in the part. So again, I'm going to show you some videos here in just a second. So P-pulse, again, if the machining is unstable, adds off time to the cycle to stabilize the machining process, but that results in a longer cycle time. So now with the new AiSF, it adjusts the discharge, also adds jump in the process. We get more uniform electrode wear. We don't get that extended cycle time, and also get better wear on the electrode itself. So we're going to go ahead and jump into some videos. I'm going to show you both a video of the previous P-pulse and then also our new AiSF. So you can see the electrode start to burn. So if it gets unstable, you're going to see that electrode stumble a little bit. You're going to hear it. So right there, the discharge was abnormal. So it stumbled. So it's going to add off time to try to correct itself and get back to 100% as far as the efficiency. So next, we're going to do our AiSF or Adapti spark function. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video of that. So you can see automatically it was unstable. It changed that jump frequency, sped up to try to get that thing to clear itself out and then get back to 100% efficiency. So very clear on how the AiSF works. So now that we've seen videos of the P-pulse and AiSF, now we're going to go out to the showroom and I'm going to go ahead and program an HS rib burn for you, show you what that looks like. Okay, now we're out at our EDAF3 sinker machine out here in the showroom in Auburn Hills. So I'm going to go ahead and program HS rib burn for you and show you what that looks like, a live demo of the machine running HS rib. So first thing we're going to do is program. So I'm going to go ahead and go to program. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to name my project. So I already have a template set up for my rib burn. So I'm going to select that. It's going to set up the length of the rib thickness, the cavity depth, and what surface finish I want to end up. So we're going to do a pocketed rib. I have the ability to do pocket or open side. So I've selected that. My orbit set, I'm going to use spherical shape. On the option side, I'm going to turn off Super Spark. I'm going to use HS rib machining checkbox and the off time adjustment setting. So once I've done my technology pick, I'm going to go ahead and tell it where I want to burn. So I'm going to burn in G55 at center of the block, start 200 above, and I'm going to turn that electrode 90 degrees. From there, I come down to my Z-axis depth. I'm going to go 800 thou deep. Go in and make my electrodes. So I need a rougher and a finisher. Save that program. Sequencing, we're just doing one spot, so no sequencing needed. Hit save and give it a program name. So here I can program, transfer that out to an O number. So I'm going to send it to an O number. Now that that's done, that program is ready to go. So I'm going to go up here to memory run. I'm going to run program number 40 and hit start on the hand box. So I programmed it with the tank to raise. It's going to raise, it's going to fill the fluid level, and then it's going to turn the electrode 90 degrees and start to burn at center of our block. So we've turned 90 degrees, wrap it down to 200 above our part, and now we're going to feed down, and as soon as it touches, the HS jump is going to start jumping. So you're going to see that high-speed jump, 20 meter a minute jump. So you can see the jump speed now with that rib turned 90 degrees. Very, very rapid jump speed. So you can see the debris as it pulls from the cut, gets it out, goes into the filtration system. So very, very stable burn right now. So at the conclusion of the video, we're going to go ahead and have a live question and answer session. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the EC Center for the live question and answer. So please type your questions in the chat and we'll answer them as we go. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dave. Dave's available for any questions that anybody has concerning rib burning on our Sinker EDM machines. If you look to the right-hand side there, you can see there's a chat window, and then there's also a Q&A window. Just type any questions that you have in there, and Dave can answer those for you. Looks like we have one in the Q&A right there. Dave, do you see that one?
Actually, I don't see it. You want to read it to me?
Sure will.
Yep.
Okay, so Cameron is asking, how do you enable AiSF in model plan programming?
Yep, pretty easy one there. So when we picked that pocketed rib and it's got the correct size, it's automatically going to turn on the AiSF function. So it's going to create that in our model plan program for you, but you can turn it on in the model plan side as well.
Okay, inside model plan, is that just on a particular G code line that would show up, Dave?
Yep, yeah, that has its own separate G code line, so that's totally separate from like your normal G132 line where we normally do our adaptive control settings. So in our machine special settings, it has its own setting line for the AiSF that's unique just to that function.
Okay. Any other questions that anyone has? It can be any general question about EDM as well. If you have a general question about Sinker EDM, Dave's here to answer any questions that you have. Well, if not, oh, we got another one. All right, so Scott's asking, is this in a software upgrade?
Yes. So depending on your software version, AiSF has been out probably about 6 months now. So yeah, our latest versions of software would include that. So as long as your machine is an ES200 or ES100, then yes, that software could be upgraded to run the AiSF function. So, and it also would have P-Pulse inside as well. So you have the benefit of having both of them. So all the machines have P-Pulse, and then the new software would be an additional adaptive control to AiSF.
Okay. All right, and then that's something you turn on, right? In addition to instead of P-Pulse?
Yes. Yep. So that would take over. So its first line of defense is the AiSF. If that doesn't take care of the issue where we're still unstable, then it would kick the P-Pulse in and add the off time to stabilize that burn. But the minute it's stable, then the P-Pulse would turn off. The AiSF would continue to monitor and adjust that jump speed and current in the background. So nothing you have to do. It automatically does it by itself.
Okay. And then that rolls into the next question here that Michael had. He said, if burning a rib into X or Y direction, so side burn, is tee off best? So is just regular P-Pulse best, I think is the question.
So really depends on the jump speed of the machine. So our new machines in the Hyper-I, they actually jump at 5 meters a minute sideways. So older machines only 0.5 meters a minute. The newest machines jump at 5 meters a minute. So it's 10 times as fast jump speed. So the AiSF could be a benefit just because it's going to increase or decrease that jump as needed, where the older machines, P-Pulse would still be the preferable method, just because that jump speed is pretty slow at 0.5 meters a minute.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, and then Cameron has another question here. He's asking, is AiSF is only available on machines with the digital generator?
Yes. Yep. Currently only with the digital generator. So what we refer to as ES200A, or the machine would have the heat technology placard on the front. So the EDAF series machines, the EDNC machines that are heat machines.
All right, then. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I want to thank everyone for taking a little time out of their day to spend with us and learn about rib machining. If you have any more questions, reach out to your local Makino rep or reach out to Dave or myself, and we can answer any questions that you might have. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day.